said, I will bring you the finals. So here's my question to you all. I don't want to hear who you're cheering for. I don't want to hear what you think the score is going to be or who you think's going to win. I want to hear how many I want to hear how long you think the finals is going to take. I want to hear it. We've got. What do you reckon? Best of 5? Are we going to hit 20-minute best of 5 again? Are we going to hit maybe 30 minutes? Do you reckon we might even see more than 3 games? Oh man, what a day. What a ridiculous day so far of just quick games. We've been live for like 2.5 hours and we're in our finals. I was expecting today to take like 4 or 5 hours or something. What a quick day. We're just steamrolling through. And both of these players are the reason for that. I mean, GuMiho, steamrolling through innovation, steamrolling through Snoot. He's the blue Terran player to the bottom left-hand side of the map from Sidestone Gaming. And he's up against the teal Zerg, who's just not stopped either. First, he takes down stats super quick. soO, I mean, did you even really see soO today? He was in game for like 15 minutes on stream. soO here in the finals. He is the teal Zerg player to the bottom right-hand side of Cactus Valley. Horizontal spawns. GuMiho will be very happy with this as he will look to open with a factory, and I imagine he will look towards a Hellion-based opener. But his mech play on this map in horizontal spawns is going to be very scary because that pushing potential is so much larger here on horizontal than on cross spawns. So we'll see how this goes. Setting on up. We're going to see this factory coming on up next to this barracks with a reactor, of course, and again just setting up to see what will happen as we're going to be seeing Hellions on the way. But the real question is, what is the follow-up going to be? How is this going to go? What exactly are we going to be seeing out of these players in the near future? Factory finishes will jump onto that reactor now. Barracks lifts and repositions as well, and the starport starting to build as well. 2 minutes is our guess for the first guess in of how long this is going to last. 2.5 hours says Stated 68. Well, that's very optimistic. Final 16 minutes and 47 seconds. 50 minutes. 1 minute, maybe 3. 45, 33. I mean, TVZ is the matchup that should take a little bit longer. Especially with GuMiho if he plays mech. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this is going to go. Man. I just can't believe it's been such a quick day of StarCraft 2. Like, I feel as though we should have been live for like 3 or 4 hours already, and we're 2.5 hours in, and we're approaching the end. Insane. Cloak Banshee opening here from GuMiho. Probably will add on an armory as well. As we see soO, though, very much so accustomed to what GuMiho is going to be playing, dropping down already. The Rotoran in preparation. And an Evolution Chamber as well. His lair will finish up shortly in the main. As you see, an Extractor just taking over to the side. Stripper will hop up into the main base too, and will come through and start to maybe drop down a grenade or so. Some drones going to get blasted around, and Zerg's actually going to catch that nice and quickly. There's a pretty late Reaper coming in right there, so speed is up. It goes down swiftly. Now there's the armor on the way, so again a Hellbat attack coming through, but soO should be pretty well prepared for this. He's going to have a few roaches up. He'll have his queens to pull down into position as well. But that said, it's maybe all because he's gone for 2 base lair. Wow, super fast. I didn't even think about the fact he didn't have a 3rd hatchery. So that's kind of interesting, as we're going to be seeing the 3rd hatch going to come down into position right now. So we'll drop that down in location, and we're still going to see this Banshee heading in towards the main base / natural now. So a little bit more pressure coming in here from GuMiho. And we're going to be seeing this Banshee going to start working its way through a couple of these drones. A couple of queens here working this way on that Banshee as well, so some damage being done. And as we're going to be seeing the roach speed on the way up from soO, we're going to see the +1 missile attacks are starting from soO as well. And we're just going to be seeing GuMiho coming through and just going to start picking off a few of these drones. So a few drones starting to go down, 3 or 4. A little bit of harassment early, but for the most part, soO pretty on top of this, with the queens in good positions, getting good damage onto the Banshee. And you should expect him to be. Taking the 3rd base so late, he can't really afford to take too much economic damage from the Banshee and whatever else GuMiho goes for in these early stages. Seems as though GuMiho not going to try and push forwards with the Hellions / Hellbats. I'm just going to sit back and keep on macroing and not moving too much. Again, just probably says, well, if you're only on 2 bases, there's no reason for me to go and try and push across the map and throw units away into a setup that allows you to defend very easily. 4 Hellions to the far right hand side, another Banshee coming forwards. I think the first Banshee died, right? Yes, so the first Banshee did just get picked off by one of these queens. Let's see the next Banshee trying to pick off creep, but unsuccessful, as the creep achievement does finish building just before the Banshee shoots it down. +1 mech weapon starting from GuMiho as well. Nothing really too surprising about that. I mean, pretty much everything from GuMiho right now is just starting to head in towards this mech play, so really no surprises at all just yet as we see the Cyclones do pick off that Overseer. And we are going to see a couple more factories coming down from GuMiho as well. So he's going to take a couple more factories right away. And again, I mean, just building up into mech. He's got his third CC. He's got a good setup now. He's going to keep building Banshees. Something we didn't really get to see him doing earlier. In one game he pops as a starport, and the other game just ended too quickly. So not going to, well, going to keep building Banshees here. And I mean, obviously they're powerful. And it's one of the reasons why sometimes we'll see a Zerg just going into a Spire against the mech earlier than expected. Because 2 or 3 corruptors to shut down the Banshees can just be so worthwhile with when they, if they just keep on harassing, otherwise it becomes such a pain. Hellions and a couple of the Cyclones will be moving over to the left side as we'll see Double Refinery being taken. CC will be relocating as well. And for soO, well, he will want to take this 4th base to the right-hand side, you'd imagine. Do not want to expand towards the Terran player in these horizontal spawns on Cactus Valley. Not a chance, so you see soO trying to go up against this. We'll see if Crypt Tumors being cleaned out by GuMiho, using that scan to pick off all 4 tumors down the left side. And that's going to be, again, just slowing soO down a little bit. Although Queens will come forwards and they will start to replace this creep. Again, the further forwards they get it, the better it will be. Drops a couple of changelings as well. So Colby will keep coming in. We'll probably want 1 creep tumor here as well, otherwise you'll have like a patch of creep here, but no creep in the middle, so it can be a little bit strange. I mean, I guess the most important thing is getting creep at the front, though, to kind of maintain some of this creep spread, which is exactly what he does. A few Banshees from GuMiho still gathering together to the left side. Some Roaches pushing forward some soO also, and he's going to move forward. He's actually going to find himself a tank right away. I mean, that's already a great pickoff. Picks off a Hellbat too. Already just these little Roaches, little Roach run by doing a little bit of something. Tries to get up to the high ground, won't be successful. As we see, Banshee's still sat overhead to these burrows of Roaches. Stunning closing play as well. Didn't actually see that coming up in production, so that's something which is nice for soO to start harassing here. And again, so far going pretty well as we see a couple of Queens pushing back the barracks as well. And still just Roaches, Hydras collecting together up in the main base. So again, getting this all together right now. As the lair's still building, about halfway done so far. There's a few more siege tanks coming into play right here. A couple of tanks to fall. Still just more units from GuMiho sat between these bases. 2 Vikings will lift up into the skies. You see the +1 vehicle plating. Not going to be too far from finishing here either in the next couple of moments, so that'll finish up very shortly as the sensor tower comes down. And guys, I mean, it looks like we might make it to the 10-minute marker. As surprising as that might sound, we might make it to the 10-minute marker with the way this is going so far. Few drones going to transfer over towards the 4th base, which he does take towards the Terran player. So GuMiho not gonna, soO not gonna be too afraid of GuMiho's potential push here. He sort of just says bring it. I guess he does have a lot of creep to work with on that side, which is one benefit and definitely one way in which he can maybe justify taking this base. One Hellion out to the far right-hand side is keeping an eye on that potential location of a base as well, of course. Banshees do back away from the center as we see a couple of Queens. Sorry, the Hydra's actually coming towards to push those away. And so what now? Well, GuMiho's going to keep building up, and obviously I think soO, his goal will be with a hive up, get some Vipers, which I think he's already gotten, he's consuming with. So it's all going to come down to these fights. Now, I mean, it's been very passive so far, not really too much to talk about, but I mean, that works in both favors. So he's been able to set up exactly how he wants to against the mech player, but the mech player's been able to do what he wants as well. He's been able to sit back and build up that super scary army. So soO's Roach Hydra, he's going to have to make sure he gets good abducts. He's going to have to make sure he hits good blinding clouds. Might be difficult though. He only has 2 Vipers against what is already 7, 8 Vikings up in the sky. That's scary, because those Vikings are going to get rid of those Vipers so quickly. It's a surprise that we don't see soO with a Spire already, I feel. I mean, yes, he's got some Hydras, but they're not going to save the Vipers super quickly. As you do see finally one of the Banshees going down. They've been around all game and continue to just find small little areas to make quick attacks and to get some quick damage done. Hellions in the center will get rid of this Roach as well, so taking this middle watchtower back, just trying to deny some vision as well. soO is maxed out, and it looks as though he might try and attack with this. He's saying, well, if I'm maxed out, it doesn't get better for me if you're still maxing out, right? So pushing forward, we're going to see these Vikings still in the sky, and again, that will be one of the major threats right now, as the Hellions will try and just push through in towards this mineral line. They will start to get some workers killed. There's a lot of Hellions that go down. And it's almost too many, but he kills 11 workers, and I guess at the same time he does want to replace some of those Hellions with tanks, etc. as well. So GuMiho just rebuilding a little bit of a better army composition. While he will rebuild some Hellions, he'll also try and build up some extra tanks, basically. So yeah, a little bit some pieces right now as soO moves into the center. Obviously, one of the smarter things he could do here is try and deny this 4th base rather than pushing up this ramp over here, rather than pushing into a large choked up area. Much better to kind of, I mean, this is still kind of choky to get towards this 4th base, but if the Terran plays a bit more out of position, it could definitely go a bit better for you. As this Roach Hydra Force, still the composition from soO. I mean, he hasn't had a chance to tech out of it, but he doesn't exactly have any tech structures which allow him to tech out of it. And what's he going to do? He doesn't have a Lurker Den, doesn't have a Spire. He's just on Roach Foreign Hydra Den and Infestation Pit, so what he already has is what he's got to play with. The only difference could be adding some Infestors, which are not really going to be that effective against the meching Terran. Well, we have seen Neural Parasite maybe becoming a thing in ZvP, and even ZvZ yesterday, TLO using some Neural Parasite to great effect in Zerg versus Zerg. Let's hold that thought because we do have Blinding Clouds coming down, and soO starting to take this fight. He's picking up quite a bit here, but as the units come in from the back as well, soO's army will disappear, and he will just have to rebuild more Hydras on the way up. He kites away for a few last units, and we'll save at least a few of these Hydras. But what I was saying is that, again, we saw kind of Neural Parasite becoming a big thing in other matchups, but in ZvT that's still not something that can happen, because all it takes is a scan, and the siege tanks will reach towards those Infestors that are Neural Parasiting. So that's pretty neat. You know, that's something which can keep the Neural Parasite away, but it means that, again, soO is just stuck on Roach Hydra and Viper. And in that last fight, he did lose his Vipers. 2 more of them now rebuilding and having to consume all over again, get that energy back. He has got a 5th base top side, which isn't actually under attack just yet. As we're going to be seeing still these units just moving around, seeing where they can go. So, moving around a little bit to see what they can get up to. As we're going to be seeing the army of GuMiho is still quite happy just to sit back and to see what is going to happen next. He's moving forwards and towards the center once more. Ultra Cavern comes down from soO, so finally getting into some sort of next sort of level of tech here. I mean, the Ultras can do pretty okay against mech. It's one of those weird things where sometimes the Ultras will just die and disappear, but sometimes they sort of like, you know, sometimes they actually do a pretty decent amount of damage if they can get to the front and connect before they get shot down by tanks. So we'll see what happens as GuMiho with a lot of Vikings up in the sky. As we're going to be seeing the tanks, fours, medevacs all moving forwards and towards the center. Roaches and Hydras will move through too. We're all going to see one tank getting picked off. Hydras here as well, as we're going to see Vipers looking for the Blinding Clouds, and he will find the Blinding Clouds on all of the siege tanks. Hellbats try and drop on top of the army, but that's not going to work. It's all of a sudden soO in the center is just going to crush through this. Those Blinding Clouds are perfect. And that's just going to be GG. GuMiho loses everything. Here's me talking about soO maybe need to tech up, find a different way to fight. But that's just going to be GG right there. soO picks up the game. Let's introduce these players and see what's going to happen. Bottom right hand side of on grounds, we hit cross spawns as well. This could be a long one. A blue Terran player from Psystorm Gaming gets GuMiho. Going up against the teal Zerg from soO to the top, teal Zerg to the top left hand side. It is soO. No team yet. If you guys have any money, want to sponsor the guy, well, you could match Arena it to him, but you could also just straight up probably get in contact with him and be like, hey dude, do you want some money? Be on my team. That's what Baser just did with Bjorn. Hey, pretty sick, man. If you got some money to sponsor a team, why not? Save the scene. Save StarCraft 2. So we set up here into this second game. Wait to see what's going to happen. I'm trying to think of any like super cool moments that happened throughout the day today. It's been a pretty crazy day in terms of just how crazy in the sense that the game has just been so fast and somewhat one-sided. I don't think there's any real... Anyone think of any good highlights from today? Try and make more highlight videos, but I'm very bad at actually picking highlights. So if anyone's got any good ideas or any good clips, would love to see them. And as we do set up, and just going to be seeing what's happening. A couple of gases coming down from GuMiho after a CC first. No real surprise. On a grounds, you can get away for CC first, so Nothing surprising there. soO just going to go hatch gas pool in the early stages. And wait to see what's next. Still just setting this up and seeing how this will go. So Queen's on the way early. I think he'll be just a little bit passive until at least this Reaper comes out. So waiting for the Reaper to come out here, and then we'll be really off and away into something in this TVZ. As honestly, I think, I feel as though GuMiho is probably just all over again, just going to go for kind of the same sort of play style. Play mech, and just, again, go from there, see what he can get up to, see what happens. So, let's see, as we do see the, right away, a reactor coming on down. So reactor drops down here. I'm going to be seeing the factory on the way up as well from GuMiho. Setting this up, and man, my headphones are all like tangled. Somehow, I don't know how they're tangled because they're like an untangleable cord and they're just so tangled up. It's really bugging me. Caster problems. First world caster problems. Reaper comes down bottom left side. There's a little bit of a scout to see what's up. Sees absolutely nothing. Lair on the way from soO in the main base. And extractor just going to come down to the side here. Second gas being taken again. Looking to be a super fast lair, by the way. Didn't really maybe put as much emphasis on that as I should have done, but super fast lair and denying the Reaper access to the main. So this is actually very interesting to talk about because the Reaper can't get into the main, which means he can't scout, which means he's probably just going to assume cross-spawn undergrounds, maybe something a bit standard, not a super fast lair, which is going to be in either a Nidus network or a Spire here potentially in the next few moments. Now, a bit of a different opening from GuMiho as well. Second factory means that he's going to be going into reacted Hellions and reacted Cyclones very soon as well. So, see how this is going to go as we see a couple of Hellions and the Reaper coming up to the top side. God damn it, WardiTV. Why are you banning links? Why are you banning clips on Twitch? You should have been whitelisted. My bad. I'm sorry, Squeaky Toy. WardiTV has done you injustice there. I apologize. Spire coming down here then from soO, so that is going to be the choice. 2-base Spire, 2-base Muta. Hellion Cyclone is going to be the composition against 2-base Muta. Obviously it's not the best. I mean, Cyclones are okay, but their anti-air nowadays is actually pretty terrible, so it's kind of weird because we haven't seen Hellion Cyclone so long. So it's actually going to be really strange. I mean, he's going to attack right now, some Hellbats, and I guess this might be a little bit difficult for soO. About to be 5 Hellbats, a Cyclone and a Reaper. He's going to have to make some more Zerglings. Queens will be a big part of this fight as Reaper Grenade goes down. Cyclone's still fighting here. The Ling's trying to find a way in to try and surround without taking too much damage on the way. He's going to go in, and there's the surround coming in. Hellbats will take some damage from this, and the Queens will help to push this back. So this is good so far. Because again, right now, GuMiho doesn't know about the Spire, doesn't know about what's going on. He may be surprised by the lack of a Roach-Run. Maybe that ticks him off a little bit as well. You know, why is there not a Roach-Run when you know I love to play mech? And why haven't you got Roaches up ready for this Hellbat attack? 5 meters on the way then, soO getting ready to go into this, and well, still fighting at the front. This Cyclone will be trying to fight, but Transfuse from the Queen keeps it alive. And we're going to be seeing these units slow just pushing on further forward, so Queen's going to start pulling back a little bit further too. 2 more Queens coming in from the real back now. We're going to see if they can just do a little bit more. And you see 2 Hellions starting to work their way through a minimal line as well. So, a couple of Hellions still making their way through a minimal line. We see more drones taking some damage. And we're just going to be seeing these Mutas actually going to pick off a Hellion or so as well. So 7 drones killed here, as we're going to be seeing a third base coming up from GuMiho. Obviously the Mutas are now known about. He does have an engineering bay for the missile turrets as well. And so coming across the map, soO will probably get a couple of SCVs, but not too much. The missile turrets in place will be more than enough to deny 5 additional Mutalisks. And so soO will just keep on looping around and look to see where he can get to. 1 SCV goes down here and a second one as well. Maybe even a third. And as we're going to be seeing, again, a little bit of damage being done right now. soO continue to work his way through these SCVs, etc. We're going to see actually Cyclones locking onto the Mutas momentarily, but doesn't have high ground vision. And so it is going to lose it. Retron still on the way up, and coming back in, we're just going to be seeing SCVs again under fire here. Cyclone's locking onto this Overseer, and it will be continuing to get taken down. We're just going to be seeing a couple more SCVs still getting picked off right now from soO. So again, get damage done by these initial Mutas. Does it justify the later third hatchery? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they've done some good initial damage, and they're still on the map and moving around to try and get a bit more done as well. So I kind of like this from soO so far. Wouldn't mind here, something he has to be careful of. He will lose one Mutalisk now, splash onto the rest of them as well. He just tries to work his way through this refinery. Obviously, the more refineries he kills, the less gas there is. And for meching Terran, gas is like the holy grail. It's everything you need. Minerals, I mean, they're not important. They're just going to turn into Hellions, which kind of disappear anyways. Whoa-ho-ho! Swarm host time, baby! Alright, well, Swarm hosts were the meta against mech for quite a while, and it's actually what stopped players from playing mech over in kind of the European and North American scenes. In Korea, Zerg players for a long time were very reluctant to play with these Swarm hosts against the mech, but we're going to see them right now from soO, so it goes into these straight away. Let's see if it's going to work out for him. As we go into game 2 of this best of 5, remember, soO is 1-0 up. If he wins this game as well, he'll be on match point. As these Hellions are going to come up the left-hand side and look to see what they can do moving forwards. And we're seeing the Creep 2 again picked off here right away. Again, obviously the more creepy tonight, the better, but with the meters out, they can continue to chase down Hellions and to really just, again, keep them pushed back. There's always going to be value for those meters as long as you're not flying them into 4s and too many missile turrets, you know. So, again, picking up some more with these, and well, the Swarm hosts are moving over to the right-hand side. I like this. He's going to drop them in towards the natural, where there is a few Cyclones. Man, Locust DPS is pretty insane as well, so not sure how this is going to go exactly. He'll probably get a few SCVs, I think. Cyclone's still just sat there from GuMiho. Don't think he knows about the Swarm hosts until just about now. So here we go. The Locusts drop down. They'll start to move in towards the Cyclones. I mean, they do good damage to them if they're in range. That's the problem. The Cyclones can kite away quite easily. As you see a refinery dropping, trying to repair the turret, and he will keep the turret alive. That's important because obviously the mutas may want to dive in. So it's a good little thought from GuMiho to make sure that that doesn't drop down. Now we still see soO's taking on up. Hive is on the way over, halfway done. Next edge of this for him, probably in towards some Vipers. What else does he drop down after the Vipers? I mean, obviously he doesn't have Hydras to work with this time around. I guess Roaches and just Swarm hosts are going to be okay for the most part. Is a little bit of a run by over here. Obviously, Swarm hosts can't help with this too much. He doesn't want to waste the wave of Locusts on these Hellions either. You know, he'd much rather send those somewhere useful, such as the main base, once again, to try and do a bit more damage and to keep GuMiho pinned back. Well, he just head up into, actually, there's a Hydra's Den coming down. So he will go into Roach Hydra with Vipers once more, just this time for the Swarm host to back him up. And I guess we'll see how many Swarm hosts he wants to build too. Also, with a Spire down from earlier in the game, he immediately builds a greater Spire. And as we see, he's the set of Swarm hosts still just looking around for openings. Army from GuMiho starting to push forwards here, maybe looking to attack before the Hive is ready or before the Vipers are ready, etc. But I don't think he's going to find the opportunity. And so we're going to see these units just pulling back all the way down to the south side. So these units pulling all the way back now, as we're going to be seeing a few Roaches actually counterattacking, and they will find themselves a couple of SCV kills at least. I mean, by the time they get picked off, it'll probably be 3 or 4 kills in total, so not bad for these few Roaches. Do they get the last SCV? No, not quite. 4 kills deal down. Yeah, I mean, here we go. Swarm hosts into the main base again. You can actually stop on this depot. Not the best, because actually then Swarm hosts are Locusts are very slow to move forward, so they're not going to get much more done than this. As we're just going to see soO continue to attack, move in. He actually might get a Cyclone kill. That'd be pretty sick. He's going to try and get the refinery. Doesn't quite happen. Cyclone is still defending pretty nicely so far in the main. But still, I mean, it's forcing those Cyclones to stay pinned back, and that's a lot of supply just dedicated in that position. And of course, for soO, he can use his Swarm host in fight as well, because he's going to be the player who's active with those. And yeah, it's going to be quite nice to see those Roaches pushing forwards again. Hellions getting picked off here. So Hellions do get pushed away right away. GuMiho gathering together over to the right-hand side, and again, a few Hellions of GuMiho moving forwards to see what else is up. A couple of them will start to go down right away, and soO very quick to pick up on these. So you know, some Corruptors. That's something spotted by GuMiho. Good information, especially because Broodlords are coming up, right? So more innate Broodlords, and this army is no longer a threat at all. And GuMiho, as he pushes forwards, he just does not have an answer to the Broods. He has absolutely no answer to the Broods. Tanks are sieged up, and the Locusts drop down on top of them. 1, 2 go down instantly. So already 2 tanks gone, and the Broods, well, I mean, he scans them, and I think that's going to be GuMiho. He actually on sieges. He's going to push forwards into this. Really? Well, he's just going to try and kind of just pick off as many bases as possible before these Broodlords kill everything. I mean, that's going to be the end result. The Broodlords are going to kill pretty much everything. Starting to drop the first Broodlings down. I mean, this 4 is not going to last very long at all. Cyclones neither are going to go down pretty quickly, especially with the friendly fire of the tanks. He picks off one of the hatcheries. You see the mutants flying forwards as well. They're going to get locked onto by the Cyclones, but guess what? Cyclones barely do any damage to air units, so they're just going to get pushed back, and everything goes down from GuMiho. I cannot understand why he would decide to fight here when he sees the Broodlords are morphing in. I mean, he knows he can maybe kill a hatchery, But surely he realizes he can't get away from that position. But I mean, maybe not. I mean, maybe he thinks it's worthwhile. I really don't know. I really feel as though this was great for soO. And I mean, being the more efficient player as the Zerg against Mech, well, that's just, that's also, it's almost a little bit of a meme, really. Being more efficient against Mech, it's crazy. Broodlords just take such a good fight, and I don't see what GuMiho does to bounce back against this. I mean, he's massing up 4s. He doesn't have any Vikings still in the game. And so pushing forwards, this is just going to be way too much for soO, surely. I mean, what does GuMiho have? Again, we're seeing the first few Vikings now building. Nah, these Broodlords are still somewhat untouchable, I think. Hydras underneath a few meters as well will help against the initial Vikings. Tanks siege up, and they will do a bit of damage here, but that's why the Broodlords are, of course, going to try and lead the charge. Tanks will siege. Widowmine actually hits onto the Broodlings, which splashes the tanks. And, well, I mean, first 4 going down. Broodlings will continue to push forwards. Here come the Locusts as well. We'll try and just add a little bit more. So many free units at the front right now. The 4s will be scary, and maybe the 4s can push on through this. As you see, the Hydras will be here to try and get rid of the Vikings. And they're going to try and add as much as they can as well. We'll want to again keep those Broodlords safe as SCVs pull in. 13 kills so far on Workers, now 20. And still counting as Broodlings still dropping down from the skies. 4's getting taken down too. There's one tank in the back that really isn't adding anything to this. Broodlord stay alive. GG from GuMiho. And soO takes a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 final. Into what could be our final game. So guys, last time I'm going to say this, potentially. Do not forget Matcherino, !Matcherino in the chat. We'll give you the link to donate to the prize pool if you want to support these players who are playing for us today. Otherwise, do not forget as well to support the channel, hit the follow button. There's subs and donations available too. You can also check out our sponsors, Are You In Gaming. It's super easy and free for you to do as well. All appreciated as we jump into this third, potentially final game of the day. To the bottom right hand side of the map, our blue Terran player representing Storm Gaming. It is GuMiho. Can he bounce back from the 0-2 deficit in this final against soO? His opponent, bottom left hand side, is the red Zerg player. Has been on fire so far today, it seems. Just nothing stopping him at all. Going through his stats and solar. He did lose out in the group stages to Innovation, but did still advance through that group over Demilove and Alive. It is soO, the red Zerg player, bottom left side of Newkirk Precinct, game 3 of the series. Let's see what's going to happen. So we're just discussing that last little play, the kind of attacking into Broods in the chat a little bit. And I can understand he wasn't prepared for Broods, and I can understand he needs to buy time for Vikings and the starport, you know, and extra starports. But I don't think attacking into Broods is how you buy time. Surely you buy time by attacking around the Broodlords, running around with your army. If the Broodlords try and attack, then you can get good damage done, initiate a bit of a base trade, and you can still build up like Vikings in your main base for a while and get set to go. I don't know, it feels really weird. It was such a weird decision for me, and I just can't quite put my finger on what exactly the goal was. Maybe just panicking a little bit, but not quite able to figure out the right thing to do. I don't know, it's a really tough one to call, it really is. Anyways, let's set up into this and look to see what's going to happen. As we're going to be seeing this SCV does go down to the first Zergling coming across. Single Hellion is out, and he actually made a couple of Marines here. Starport about to finish in moment 2 as well, as we're going to be seeing the factory lifting up. We're going to drop back down onto the reactor. Just dropping that factory down onto the reactor. CC does now finish, and again, just GuMiho trying to set up and see what's next. Couple of Hellions on the way, building the Viking. Roach-Roaring from soO. Feels a little bit earlier than before, and I wonder if he's just going to go for an aggressive Roach attack against, well, if it's a Hellion opening, can have a lot of effect, and we might just be seeing a very quick end to the series. Roach-Roaring will finish up in a moment or so. And will we build... How many Roaches is he going to build? He's been building a lot of Overlords. I think he is just going to mass up Roaches, spamlings behind it, and just go for a quick bust here to try and win game 3 very, very quickly. Let's see how this is going to go as units gathering up together. 5 Roaches on the way. 6 Roaches on the way. 7 Roaches on the way. Raven builds some GuMiho. I mean, an order turret is nice, but it only lasts for so long. It only lasts for so long as we see this Hellion from GuMiho still moving around. Looking to see what's happening. So Raven on the way up. There's Viking from GuMiho moving through the center of the map as well. A few Zerglings here from soO. Also just moving around. As here we go. Roach is moving across. I mean, this is it. This is where we find out if soO's going to become the winner. He won the first 2 cups of this season. And now here in the season finals, he is 2 up in the grand finals. Roach Ling all inning to see if he can put an end to this. Coming across this map, plenty of Roaches, plenty of Lings. He is moving forwards already, and Hellions and Marines will get rid of a few of those Zerglings. A few Ravagers will morph in towards the center of the map as well. And, well, here we go. I mean, again, the Roaches will do a good job against these Hellions. What does GuMiho have? He is building 2 Cyclones, a Banshee on the way as well. Can there be enough damage done here by soO right away to make this happen? Backs away from the auto turret. I love that decision because obviously that's just going to help him out a lot because now the auto turret isn't part of this. And here we go. Lings will start to run on forwards. SCV's pulled in. Cyclones will have to pull back away from the corrosive bowels. Only 2 workers killed so far. Now moving up a little bit higher. Corrosive bowels trying to drop once more. More Lings to reinforce this. soO's still making Zerglings as well. As here comes the Banshee into play. You'll see corrosive bowels hitting the Banshee. Doesn't go down but gets very, very low. 13 workers killed. A couple more available on this low ground as we're going to be seeing. One more corrosive bowel. Banshee doesn't move into that. He's just going to try and bust through into the main base. Another Cyclone pops, goes down instantly. As we're going to see finally though, I think GuMiho's starting to clean this up. A few more SCVs might go down on the low ground. Ah, he's lagging. We're going to be seeing Lings and Roaches still getting cleaned on up here. So a few more units getting picked off. As we're going to be seeing. That's about it. 18 workers killed from soO. Is it enough to justify taking out of this? I think so. He's got a 3rd hatchery up. He's got a lair building. He's up about 8 workers. I feel as though this is probably just about okay for our Zerg play. He's actually got more Lings still as well, so he can still apply pressure a little bit here. In fact, if he could get us around, he could kill off these couple of Hellions and a Cyclone. So, GuMiho, I feel, is taking a bit too much damage right now. Not out of the game, but behind. Now, he does have ways to come back. Ravens are going to be very good at harassing to pick off workers and to keep soO's worker count low. Same with the Banshee. As here we go. Here comes this around. Auto turret will drop down as well. It adds a lot of damage into this. But the Hellions are going to go down to Cyclone too. If GuMiho can't even survive these Hellions, or these Zerglings, sorry, he's in trouble. Zerglings up the ramp, going to pick off another Hellion. Pushes away the mule from the mineral line. 3 more workers killed. soO now 24 workers in the lead. These Ravens have to start going across the map. They need to do something, man. They need to get across the map and start getting something done. They need to try and get something done ASAP, as we're going to be seeing the Banshee coming across here. Here come the Ravens again. They're going to be vital. The auto turrets to harass down. If he can get, like, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but he can get 20 kills off these Ravens in the next couple of minutes, plus a few kills off the Banshee. It could be enough. Mech weapons and mech plating coming down right now. And as we're going to be seeing, Starport moving over to the side. Another factory building as well. So he's on free CC, by the way, GuMiho. So he does have the triple CC to, you know, work his way back into this with. And actually, is there any units over here? soO might just lose a lot of workers to this Hellion counterattack. He's got a few units in the main helping to deflect these auto turrets. 4 workers killed already. GuMiho, it's not everything he needs, but it's a start. And it doesn't cost him anything at all so far. So these Hellions trading with some creep tumors. That's a nice thing about the Ravens as well. Cleaning out the creep without having to invest any scans. And now we see some Mutalisks on the way up. And, well, I guess that's the question. Is there any response to Mutalisks? No. Not even an engineering bay on the map at the moment. So this could be pretty deadly. A few meters across the map just could kill off the entire mineral line or two. And that's going to, again, keep GuMiho's worker count very, very low here in Game 3 of this finals. And soO is just looking so dominant. Here we go then. You see the Mutalisks actually going to turn around. They're going to try and come in towards these Ravens. All turrets will go down. Hey, you could probably kill a Mutal or two with this. You see drones trying to pull away. 2 workers going down. 3. Not good target fire and a lot of damage wasted onto the spawning pool. About 100 damage onto that, which could have been, again, another couple of drones. Would have helped. Would have helped. You're going to see these couple of Ravens as well. Going to drop down 2 more turrets. And we're just going to be seeing a Mutal going down. Some more workers coming across the map, the Mutas, but actually turrets now will be ready back at home. Missile turrets, that is, to help push those Mutalisks away. So, may as well find a couple of worker kills But he's losing a lot of drones, and Hellion's in towards the mineral line as well on the third base. GuMiho is finally getting the damage done that he needs here. It's taken a while, but there it is. 22 workers killed, and GuMiho is right back in this in terms of the economy right now. In the natural expansion, we see these mutants trying to pick up a few more kills as well. So a little bit more damage being done here and there. 23 drones dead, 3 SCVs in the recent times. Worker count dead even, 51 apiece. Workers, past the workers, army supply is a little bit favorable for soO, but he is building a lot of roaches, and he is up against already 1-1 upgrades of GuMiho with only his own +1 about to finish in the near future. 2 Hellbats to the top left side again as GuMiho continues to find more damage, continues to see if he can find a way to pull himself back into this. And as we're going to be seeing these Hellions getting picked off once again. And we're just going to be seeing soO moving over to the right hand side of the map to once again try and apply a little bit more pressure. More drones going down. What to? Auto turrets once more. This is what I mean. These Ravens, they can pick up a lot of kills. 6 kills on one. The other is dead, unfortunately. But still, it's good damage by these Ravens that continues to add on up throughout the game. And it really has brought back into this. GuMiho, though, evacuating the third base as we see a push up. No tanks, only 4s. And so all of a sudden, soO is going to also be killing off a bunch of workers once again. See a tank on the high ground now, finally, as the first 4 stood in a lot of corrosive files. Finally, 1-4 going down. Next 4 will go down in a moment too as well. Meters go towards the siege tanks on the high ground to start picking those off as soO pushing through for victory right now. Not just in this game, but in the tournament. Is he going to win this? Well, it really does seem as though he will, because the Vikings are going down. There's still Roaches and Ravagers left. The next tank gets picked off too. He does get shot down by missile turrets, but reinforcing Roaches are just streaming across the map, and GuMiho has no units for the next few moments. He's just waiting for a tank and Hellions to spawn, and that's not going to be here in time. Tech Lab being picked off. Lovely contaminated on this factory with the siege tank build, and that'll be it. GG. soO just has enough army to make the attack across the map work. Yes, he lost a lot of income, he lost a lot of drones in the last few moments, but it's still too much. GG, soO wins it. 3